Okay, so we're going to look at one particular rapid on the Dee at Cairnton, and look at river reading. So we'll look at it from the boat, we'll look at it from the left bank, and also from the right bank, and this will all be one rapid. Okay, so this is a run through. Coming down to the top of Cairnton, the orange are hazards, and the green is where I'd like to go. There's a narrow entrance, there's a rock off there, so there's a row of rocks here, and I can go in and over to this eddy here. In the eddy, checking more paddlers, and I'm going to work my way across, very guiding. Now this is the entrance up here, at this level. Just very guiding across some of those rocks. Then different amounts of into an eddy. Chance to look around. Waves, various routes, various hazards. Up behind me here, just be careful. And then coming in behind these waves, not be better to use the waves to get across. And then I'm coming into this eddy. It was a bit low, and now I can see that there's some rocks there. Lean over the rock time. So now we're the next ledge, and there's a row here, various routes across. So there's a hole here, another one there, some hazard here. Could it go across or come down? Again, a bit of a wave there, a bit of a hole developing, and so down the edge of that hole, into the waves. Looking for the best line, and there's possibly a hazard up here. And into an eddy. And so you can see the river looking back up, very guy across this here. There we go. You back up the rapid. So as you'll see from the banks, it looks a bit different, and you might not even recognize it as the same river. So looking at the river from the left bank, this looks like the decent line down the V, avoiding the rocks here, and then there's another ledge and down here. So looking at it from further down the river, you're coming down, there's possibility to eddy out here, there's a route down here, and a possible eddy there, possible eddy in here, it's a large eddy, and a straight down route. Looking here again, you're aware that there are eddies, there is the main flow, and there are rocks and so on coming out from the bank. And looking down here again, you're aware that there's eddies, there's another, there'll be another up here, and so there's various routes down. Obviously a large eddy here which you could come into and then break out again, and that way it gives you more time to see the rapid and break it up by using the eddies, and we'll look at that in more detail in another video. So here we're looking up the river at the entrance, and where I came in was to this eddy here, then I moved across here. It's maybe hard to recognize here, but that is how it looks from the right bank. Now looking down the river here, the general most obvious route is the green line. There's one ledge and then another ledge, and the easiest route is down here, and these are various obstacles and holes. Here we're looking more closely at it, and again from the bank things tend to flatten out a bit and hard to really notice. But you can notice there's some rocks. However, when you're in your boat coming down, chances of you remembering where that, say, that rock is or that is very slight. At this point, the best you can do is look for the obvious line and the obvious hazards. And again, here we're looking from the bank down on one of the ledges, followed by another one. This is the one where I actually came down this side and worked my way across and then went down. But you'll be hard pressed to recognize that in the picture. So here we have an obvious hazard. We're on the left bank. The river is flowing in this direction. Now, fortunately, the obvious line and the main line is down the other side of the river, and you don't actually come close to this obstacle. However, if something happened, particularly if you were swimming or if you're in your boat, this is a serious obstacle because we've got the force of the water passing through branches, which means there's plenty of force that will pin you against, possibly under these branches. So it's an extremely high risk. So were you to swim, you would be well advised to get out to the bank or go out to the middle. If a strainer, like we call these strainers, if something like this was unavoidable, you wait till the last minute and you summon all your energy and kick and thrash and do whatever you can to get your body up and over as a main branch and try and secure yourself there. But you really want to avoid these things, not end up on them. So walking on the bank, you can obviously see hazards like this that may not be visible on certain rapids from the top. And so definitely better to know about it. As it happens, this one's quite easy to avoid. Okay, so we'll talk about the limitations. If you remember back to the video, it might be quite hard to recognize that as the same as what we were looking down from the left and the right bank. The right bank probably gives a better impression of the ledges and so on in the general route. So picking which bank you get out on and look at the rapid can make a difference. And generally you want to try and get low to the water, but the banks are usually higher. So the river looks different from above than when you're in your kayak and down low. The river looks different from each bank. When you're low in your kayak, it's very hard to recognize any reference points that you might have seen when you're on the bank. Also, people are limited in what they can remember. So I've found that most people can only remember one or possibly two reference points that they can identify as they're going down the rapid, and they have to be very obvious ones. And one might simply be the entrance, which is worth knowing, and the other one is the way you wish to exit, and that might be an eddy at the bottom or at least to have a target. So if you have to remember one thing, it's probably your target eddy at the bottom. Actually, this particular eddy, it's important to line up to get into a fairly narrow entrance at the top of the eddy, the top of the rapid. Once you're in the rapid, then there are various options, but at these river levels, it's narrow at the top. So one of the best ways to understand a river rapid is to watch other boats come through. So this is the entrance to the rapid we've seen, and coming across into the first eddy. I'm in the eddy, someone else has come through and elected to go straight down the main channel. Further down the rapid, we've gathered a few boats into the one eddy. And again, by doing that, it gives us an opportunity to look at that section of the rapid and to decide what we're going to do next. And it slows the whole thing up. we're also able to do safety for each other. But so here again, coming out of this eddy, coming across and then working back over this way. Probably going to use these waves. And again, if there's fast water, there's always eddies. So we can use those. And just here, coming out of the eddy, where I would have had a chance to see what's coming next, I'm accelerating into the fast water.